clean eaters. I wanted to welcome you to my kitchen in my array of the artwork from the kiddos, and I wanted to just show you some things that I've done over the past year to make improvements to my cupboards and my pantry. I don't want to scare anybody. This is not anything you have to go and take your cupboard and wipe everything out and start from scratch. I've actually had health coaching clients that have had me into their homes and gone through their pantry, their freezer, their fridge, and we do throw some stuff away when I point out, how truly bad it is for them. But typically we try to use up what we have first before we start replacing it. So if you are so inclined after the 7 days or during the 7 days where you are just feeling so much better and you know this is something that you want to stick with and can stick with, and trust me, everybody can stick with this. You are doing so great. So anyway, but you want to start knowing about how to make changes in your kitchen to accommodate healthy eating and to just get healthier. So I thought I would just get out some of the things from my own cupboard and show you the steps that I've taken over the past year and a half to kind of replace the unhealthy snacks and foods with a healthier version. So I will just get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you about is some grains and some beans and some more meal-like staples. So I have a whole cupboard full of these types of plastic containers. I typically have about 10 to 12 types of beans in my cupboard at all times, and probably 8 to 12 different kinds of grains. Sometimes I rotate through, but there's always a staple of ones that I have on a regular basis. So brown rice. Brown rice to me is a must. It goes with absolutely everything. It's virtually tasteless, so you can mix it with anything. And why use brown rice or brown pasta or brown breads over white? Because white anything has had all of its nutrients stripped from it. So white instant rice is about the worst thing you can eat for a side dish. So if you can get to a brown rice that's instant, that is a step in the right direction. And then if you can get to a brown rice that it's in its whole form, that takes a little bit longer to cook, but it means that it's had fewer of the nutrients stripped. Actually, it hasn't had any of the nutrients stripped. That is the point you want to get to, is where you're buying the whole grain, the long grain, or short grain brown rice. It's just such a basic staple. It's really a must in your cupboard. So the other grain that I have as a staple is quinoa. And if you've never heard of or tried quinoa before, I encourage you to try a new food this week. This is what I would recommend, is the quinoa. It is a grain. It is one of the few grains that has complete protein, so it's very, very good for you. It acts like brown rice in that it can be mixed with absolutely anything. I mean, I have this for breakfast sometimes mixed with, but no, that's not true. I drink Shakeology for breakfast, but for lunch or a morning snack or whatever. But you can mix with milk, or you can mix with fruit, cinnamon, or you can use it for lunch or dinner, in soups, and I mean it literally can be mixed with anything. So quinoa is something else that I buy in bulk from the health food store. I think you can get it other places. I know I've had clients that have gone grocery shopping and they think they're doing so well. They buy a box of quinoa, like from Walmart or something, and then I'll get a message later that night that says, well, this isn't healthy for me. There's all these ingredients on the label that are, like MSG or whatever. Well, that means that they've added in all these seasonings and salt and whatever to make like a flavor pack for it. So I always encourage just to buy plain and add your own. That goes for anything. I will admit that my teenager grew up on Hamburger Helper of various forms and Tuna Helper and then Chicken Helper. I feel horrible about it, but I mean, there's nothing I can do other than redo with my younger two and just feed them better. I know better now, So I actually have homemade versions of Hamburger Helper that taste like the old Hamburger Helper from the box, minus all the MSG. So anyway, the other thing I have in bulk is a lot of beans. This is a thing of black beans, and I recommend buying beans in bags. So they're dry. They're cheaper. They're way cheaper than cans, and they're way healthier because when you have a can of something, you're going to have added sodium. And these are garbanzo beans or chickpeas. The thing with buying dry beans is that they really need to be soaked overnight, or they will take you 12 hours to cook them. They still take a long time to cook, so they're great for the crock pot. But you really should soak them overnight the night before, and then they're much more manageable. So for that reason, I do keep a can, like a single can or maybe 2 cans of every kind of dry bean that I have. I keep it in a can version, an organic, where there's nothing else added to it, so that I can grab it quick if I need it, because I don't always remember to put the beans in soaking overnight, and I want something the next day to go with my rice or my quinoa or on a salad or whatever, and so it's easier just to grab a can. But typically if I'm doing soups or stews or main dishes and I have planned ahead like I'm supposed to, they will be soaked overnight, and that's all good to go. So vegetable broth is something that I keep on hand too. This is not an organic one. I do get organic occasionally, but I was out. I had to have a quick fix of vegetable broth. But this is really good to cook your whole grain pasta in, your rice, your quinoa, vegetables. It adds a lot of flavor, a lot of flavor. If you haven't tried vegetable broth before, but you've used like chicken and beef and stuff, I encourage you to try the vegetable. It has really, really good flavor. And then you can just add other seasonings if you want. Typically though, I don't add any seasonings when I cook with vegetable broth, and maybe a little salt and pepper, but it has a good flavor. So keeping some kind of stock on hand is good to cook in. It will prevent you from using creamed soups. Stay away from cream soups. Stay away from cream soups. They are terrible for you. You can make your own using a vegetable broth and a cornstarch and water mixture. Google it, Pinterest it, ask me, whatever. I'll find you a healthier version for a cream soup. Okay, oatmeal. This is organic whole oats. I think there's also organic, what's referred to as instant, and it's because the oats are smaller and they cook faster. Now the instant you get in the store, if you are in the habit of buying packets, like your Quaker packets or whatever brands they have of that has the flavors in it already, high sugar, probably high sodium, I'm not clear on that, but high sugar for sure, and there's other ingredients in there that our bodies are not meant to process, other chemical type things. So you want to stay away from the instant packets. I know the health food store does have small instant containers that you just add the hot water to, and if you look at the ingredients, it's a drastic difference between the organic and what you can buy like in Walmart or the grocery store. So you want to just really be cautious of the labels when you're buying stuff like that. But anytime you can get plain and add your own, and while I'm on that topic, yogurt is one that is, you think you're eating healthy, and then you look and there's like 36 grams of sugar in it, which is crazy. So my recommendation is you find a good plain Greek yogurt that you like the consistency of, and you add your own stuff to it. Honey, cinnamon, fresh fruit or frozen fruit. Doctor it up yourself. Stay away from anything that already has a premixed fruit or gel type thing in it. It is super high sugar, way more than you should be consuming in an entire day. You'll get in that one yogurt and then some. So I got off topic a little bit, but okay, organic steel cut oats. Now if you are a Pinterest user, you will see this all over the place, these mason jarred steel cut oats. They're gorgeous. I mean, these containers look amazing, and you can do so many things with them. So steel cut oats is just another form of oatmeal, and this you can cook like oatmeal, but what I'm talking about with the mason jars, or if you just, like I have in my fridge right now, a Rubbermaid, where I just put the steel cut oats in, poured coconut milk over top with room for it to expand a little bit, added cinnamon and vanilla and almonds, and then when I go to eat that tomorrow, and I made up a big batch, it'll last me the whole week. When I go to eat that though, that coconut milk will have soaked all into the steel cut oats, and so it's soft, like it had been cooked, but it was never cooked. And then you can add fresh fruit and other things. It's phenomenal. If you haven't tried steel cut oats, that's my other recommendation. Sorry. That's my other recommendation for trying something new this week is the steel cut oats. Okay, sweeteners. Sugar. White sugar, stay away from it. Just stay away from it. That is probably the hardest thing for people to completely get out of their kitchen is white sugar. I did all of my Christmas baking this year using a raw cane sugar or coconut sugar. Raw cane sugar comes in a box like this, or there's, I'm sure, you can probably get it bulk in a bag. There's other forms of it, but this box was like probably from Walmart or something. And I'm not plugging Walmart, I'm really not. It's just I'm not left with a lot of options for shopping up here. So, so this is what we have. Anyway, organic coconut sugar is a really good substitute for brown sugar. It's also, if you're one of those people that like sugar in your coffee, it is really good. I don't typically put sugar in my coffee, but if I'm out of creamer, I will use a teaspoon of this. And for creamer is another one of those that has a ton of ingredients in it that should not be consumed. Lots and lots of chemicals. In fact, there's hardly anything recognizable on a bottle of creamer. So what I use is a So Delicious coconut milk creamer, and it's straight up coconut milk and, you know, a hazelnut flavor, vanilla flavor, or whatever. Very simple. There is one brand out there, and I don't remember offhand, but it is in the regular creamer section. It only has 3 ingredients. It has like milk, heavy cream, and then whatever the flavor is. So if you can find that one, and again, this story is the fewer ingredients on a label, the better. The fewer, the better, all the time. Other sweeteners, agave nectar, which is like kind of a cross between a syrup and a honey. This is an organic. It's from a plant, organic agave nectar. That's all that's in there. It's just a liquid sweetener. So if you're used to using sugar or artificial sweeteners in your coffee or tea or baking or whatever, give the agave nectar a try. Probably what I use the most for a sweetener is honey. A local honey. I always buy it local. It has health benefits too, like it can help with your allergies. If you have seasonal allergies, using a local honey can help with that. So for baking, sometimes I'll substitute, if I'm out of the raw sugar or I just want to try something new, I will use honey in place of the sugar. And it's sweeter, so you don't have to use as much. Okay, peanut butters. I was always a die-hard Jif fan. Ate Jif peanut butter my whole life. There is no way you could convince me to eat anything else. And then I went through nutrition school, and I just started trying other things, and I'm like, okay, so what's wrong with my peanut butter? There can't be that many ingredients. There really isn't that many ingredients in regular Jif peanut butter, but there are other ingredients besides peanuts. So this is my favorite brand from the health food store. Once again, I think this might be a local company. I know this sunflower butter is from Traverse City. So this has just dry roasted peanuts with salt. That's it. This one isn't the organic one. There is organic and non-organic. But anyway, natural peanut butter. It's crunchy. You can get it crunchy or creamy, and I will never go back to using Jif ever again because it tastes so sweet, and like I feel like I can taste sugar in it when I'm eating a tablespoon of Jif versus this. It just tastes like squished up peanuts, and it's just really, really good. Now the other thing that I've been addicted to lately is sunflower butter. This is organic. This is made from a company in Traverse City, and this has sunflower seeds, organic vanilla powder, organic flaxseed, organic cinnamon, and organic hemp seed. So good stuff. All good stuff. This is something that has just come on the market in the last couple of years, PB2. It's basically, they took the peanuts and they pressed all the oil out of them. So you get a powder. And all that's in here is made with roasted peanuts, sugar and salt. So they do have some added sugar in here. Sodium's low. Sugar, oh, it's only 1 gram, so that's nothing. But the difference is 2 tablespoons of this is 45 calories, and this one is 180 calories. So you can reconstitute this with water. I know my mom is a huge advocate. She loves this. She uses this on celery and toast and everything, and she rarely eats any of these anymore because of the fat content. So PB2 seems to be a pretty good alternative. Now, you should not be scared of healthy fats, though. If you're getting healthy fats from peanuts and other nuts and sunflower seeds, those are the good fats that you want. So don't avoid them completely. But a serving size is 2 tablespoons, which isn't huge. So you just need to be cautious, but don't eliminate them completely. So speaking of sunflower seeds, I do get an organic sunflower seed from the health food store. Yes, that is a little bit pricier, but again, where I can get organic, I just do, because I feel better about feeding it to my family. I feel better about feeding it to myself. The less processed, the less, chemicals it's touched, to me, the better. It's worth the price. So there's that. Okay, and I got pumpkin seeds. So seeds and nuts are really good. They're a good snack. They're high protein. They have other good things in them, and it keeps you full longer than having like a carb for a snack. So where you can, but again, portion size is big. Typically for seeds and nuts, it's a 1/4 cup. So you want to portion out. And I thought I had an example. Hold up. Yeah. Yes, I do. I have an example of edamame that I've portioned out. Edamame is a dried soybean that is really high protein, 13 grams of protein in a 1/4 cup. And so typically when I get seeds and nuts, I will put them into these single serving bags just so that you're not eating half the bag and then that blows your whole deal. But I have another video on that. Okay, so I'm just going to switch gears here for a second. Okay, popcorn, microwave popcorn. Take a peek at the label next time you get microwave popcorn. It's disgusting. I'm sorry. I love microwave popcorn. I think it tastes phenomenal. But I just can't put it in my body anymore. I can't do it. So I switched to an organic, non-GMO, air pop popcorn. Got the boys a little air popper, which they think is super fun. If I can get it out of my cupboard. Oh, for crying out loud. Okay, yeah, air popper, sorry about that. And so what we do with that then, we pop the popcorn and we use coconut oil instead of butter. Coconut oil has a ton of health benefits, and it tastes really good. So we use coconut oil and then, melt it on the top, and then you pour it in the popcorn, and we use sea salt to season it with. We probably eat this at least 4 times a week, at least 4 times. It's super, super healthy. Air pop popcorn, you can have like 3-4 cups. It's barely any calories. And you add some coconut oil, which that does have calories, but it also has big health benefits. So microwave popcorn is one of those things that you really need to try to steer yourself away from and get to a healthier alternative. And it comes colored in different colors, which is pretty sweet. So coconut oil, yes, there's so many uses for this, like internal and external. It's crazy. But I like to use this for sauteing also. It's really good on vegetables. It's, good. Sometimes I'll have the quinoa and I'll heat it up and it's like dry a little bit. So I'll put like a tablespoon of coconut oil in it when I'm heating it up, and it moistens it, and it's really, really good. And sea salt, where you can get rid of the white salt in your house and replace that with a Himalayan pink sea salt. Salt has minerals in it that are really good for your body, but the white salt does not, because it's white. It's been stripped of everything. So I didn't have that down here, but and then the other oil for cooking, a lot of people say, well, what do you use for sauteing and whatnot? Extra virgin olive oil. And there's lots of different oils out there. I like to experiment sometimes with different ones. Walnut oil I've used before, safflower oil, sunflower oil. They carry those in the health food store, possibly other places. I'm not really sure. I don't shop a lot of other places. But the extra virgin olive oil is good for cooking. Now in baking, where it says oil, never. Never, never. I haven't used oil in probably 20 years for baking applesauce. You just replace your applesauce straight up with whatever it called for the amount of oil, replace it with applesauce. You cannot taste the difference, and you just saved yourself like 8,000 calories and 30 grams of fat, or close to that. Okay, oh, I got out the dried cranberries because I wanted to point out about dried fruit. People think that they're eating dried fruit, raisins, there's all these dried fruit mixes, that it's healthy. It's not unhealthy, except that it has a lot of sugar. Typically when they dry fruit, because it's fruit has a lot of sugar. So a dried fruit is also going to have a lot of sugar. So you just want to use sparingly. The boys do like, and I do like this on my oatmeal, but again, you're sprinkling like a tablespoon or something. You're not going to eat half the jar. So dried fruit is okay, but again, using it in moderation. You can make your own trail mix with nuts and seeds and, you know, chocolate chips and cranberries. Raisins, I just don't have any use for raisins. Some people like them, but I'd rather have the dried cranberry than a raisin any day. Okay, a few snacky things. So, we do enjoy chips in this house. My boys and we like, I guess we like the salt. I don't know. We love the air pop popcorn. We like chips. So we have had to find some alternatives to buying Lay's, buying Ruffles, buying your typical chips that people, you know, have in their cupboards. And so this one actually, I believe, came from Walmart, Garden of Eaton, funny, multi-grain sea salts. It's a non-GMO, organic, with 7 whole grains. And all of the ingredients are organic and they're straight up. There's nothing weird in here. So again, portion control on chips, just like on the nuts and the seeds, it's like 11 chips, which isn't very much at all, but it's better than eating Ruffles or the barbecue Lay's, which I love. But chips and salsa is good. Hummus, guacamole, those are really great dips to have with your chips. And these pretzel crisps are, I was shocked. Here's the ingredients: wheat flour, sugar, salt, malt syrup, and soda. It's very, very few. I mean, you eat a bag of pretzels, and that's the other thing. Pretzels are like, oh, there's no fat in them, so I can eat like half a bag. Well, there's 110 calories in 11 of these. So that's, you know, it adds up. So you just want to watch portion control. But these are a relatively healthy alternative to chips and stuff. And then we always have black corn or blue corn tortilla chips on hand. Usually some kind of a sweet potato chip, but again, keeping those organic and, you know, just made with corn flour and sea salt, something like that. My latest obsession to go along with my sunflower butter is rice cakes. And these rice cakes have eco-farmed whole grain brown rice and sea salt. That's it. 60 calories, no fat, and it's just like, it satisfies that crunchy, salty type of craving that you have, you know. And then to get my healthy fats in for the day, I'll use sunflower butter usually on these, and I'm satisfied. It's perfect. So, but again, you look at a Quaker rice cake or other rice cakes you can find in the store, and there's all these weird ingredients. So you want to just start label reading. Few ingredients as possible. Anything you can't pronounce, don't get it. Almonds. And then the last thing I wanted to go over was bars, because people are always asking me, well, what, you know, Cliff Bars. Are Cliff Bars healthy? That's the big one. Cliff Bars are not unhealthy, but there are 20 grams of sugar in here. Oh, 21 grams of sugar. So again, if you need to be watching your sugar, or there's other things in your day where you're eating a lot of sugar, this is probably not a great alternative for you. I've tried eating just half of one, and then I eat the other half like 15 minutes later, so that doesn't work for me either. This is a meal replacement bar. You should not be having this for snack. This has 260 calories, which is close to what you need for a small meal. So for a snack, you want 100 to 150 calories, roughly. And you want that to be a high protein or some kind of protein carb mix. And this does have 9 grams of protein, which is great. These are nice and convenient, and some of the ingredients are organic. I think it's like 70% organic, maybe with organic rolled oats. I don't know what else, but I mean, Cliff Bars aren't bad, but they are high in sugar, just so you're aware of that. These ones are shocking to me. I get these at Walmart. There's like 5 ingredients. That's it. Like what you see is what you get, literally, with these ones. Peanuts, honey, cranberries, sunflower oil, raisins, dried apricots, and almonds. That's it. So it's great. It's not a protein bar. There's a little bit, there's 5 grams, which isn't bad. But this is a perfect like size snack. And I keep these stocked. These are great for my little guy that is gluten-free. There's no gluten in them, and it's all natural. So there is a line of these, Mariani, they're called. So that was a nice find. Kashi bars is something that I have bought always. I always liked the Kashi company. I was really happy to see lately that their cereals are now non-GMO, so hopefully the bars will be non-GMO soon. And they do have a lot of ingredients, though. I was looking at it. There is a lot of ingredients in here. Most of it looks pretty straight up, but some of it is like, I don't know. So I've kind of been steering away from the Kashi bars a little bit and lately and going towards other things. Luna bars are 70% organic. There's so much stuff out there. Nature Valley, some of the Nature Valley stuff is not good because it has like a coating on it, and when you get those extra coatings, then you're adding all these other ingredients. But the crunchy bars are pretty straightforward. There's maybe like 8 ingredients in there. I mean, as an alternative to some of the other, you want to stay away from like the Quaker bars. Those ones have high sugar, but it's high. It's not like a natural sugar or an organic sugar. It's just high sugar. And there's other things that you can't pronounce in there. The Kind bars are really, really good too. Few ingredients, and I'm not sure if these are classified as organic or not. Peanuts, almonds, honey, non-GMO glucose. Again, another form of sugar. So protein, 7 grams of protein, gluten-free, good source of fiber. Okay. And yeah, so that concludes the snack section of my kitchen for the most part. We're pretty basic here. We eat apples and bananas and other fruits, and we munch on celery and carrot sticks and hummus and guacamole and those kinds of things. But this did, again, not happen overnight. This is a slow process. It doesn't have to be painful, though. You take one item at a time and you just work on switching it to a healthier version. So if you have any questions about that at all, I would love to talk to you about what changes you can make in your kitchen to be feeding you and your family healthier. And have a great day of healthy eating.